All right, guys, I've been waiting for this day. I wanted to come out here and try to make the best muskrat trapping series on YouTube. And man, it's gonna happen this year. I was watching this pond. I've been saving this pond. I was hoping we were gonna have a good year where I'd get a couple of, a little bit of clear ice where I'd go and show you the runs, show you the feed beds, show you the houses. It's happened, man. I got a couple inches of ice. We got everything we need to make a kick-ass video. First part, we're going to show you, part one here is going to be locating the muskrats and where you should put your sets. Tomorrow I'm going to bring my girlfriend out. She's going to film me. I'm going to show you putting in a bunch of sets, and then we'll show you checking them sets, and then we also got that video of skinning them and stretching them. So let me show you this pond. Here it is right here. We got a feeder hut there, got a couple feeders there. We got some feeders on the other side. I got a muskrat house over there, so this is going to be perfect to show you. Now, a couple things, guys. It's up to your own discretion if you want to win and when you want to walk on this ice. I'm a chubby little shit, so I had to make sure it was plenty thick. But let's start over here. Feed beds. Not muskrat houses, they're feed beds. How do you know they're active? Well, you see all them bubbles right there? That's muskrats coming in here to feed. They don't have a real distinct trail coming into here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put some feeder sets. I'll probably put a feeder set right there and a feeder set right there, and that's how I'd trap that one. And we'll come over here. And again, you guys got to make sure this ice is safe and you're confident. And when you're checking these houses and feeder huts, be careful because the ice is really thin in spots. All right, right here we got a real good spot. You can see the bubble trail, and that's where the muskrats are coming from. And they're coming over here to feed. I would suspect they probably have a den, bank den or something right out there. And then they probably have another bank den right there. It's pretty hard to tell. I got some easier spots to trap bank dens, so that's what we're going to go and look at right now. Hey guys, listen, every bubble you see is not a friggin' muskrat. Okay, here's another feeder bed. As you can see, bubble trail there, bubble trail there. I'm going to set two feeder sets right in there. So let's keep moving. All right, here's just another awesome little feed bed. Got a nice trail going in there to the shore. Got a nice trail going in here to shore. On these, I'm going to try to find, they obviously have a bank den here, and it's up in here somewhere. If you can't find it, don't worry about it, man. Just set the feed bed. That's all you got to do. So, well, I can't find that. I know there's some easier spots to set some bank dens and some trails, so that's what I'm going to look for, and that's where I'm going. Oh, right here. Right here is a bank den. How I can tell. I got quite a few bubbles in one little spot. They're going out here. They kind of spread out. But if you can see down in there, that water is muddy. What happens there is the muskrats are going in and out, and I'm assuming there's a hole, but I'm going to put a 110 conibear right there in that trail. So that's a great spot, man. Let's keep moving. I'll show you. We got a feed bed right up here on shore. Now they're going to be hitting this feed bed. I can see the bubble trail right there. They're not hitting it very hard. And it's not doesn't have a real good trail system. But I come out here, and here's a lot of bubbles right here in this area. And it's coming right down from that feed bed. So right here, I'm assuming there's probably a bank den somewhere in there. I can't see it. I don't know. It's pretty deep water. I don't think they would have one here. But what I'll do is I'm going to set a feeder set right there. That's a great spot, man. Great spot. Okay, guys. So here's what I'm looking for putting in a conibear and a run. This is a run. You can see the bubbles. You can see the clear water. That right down there. Put a 110 in there. Bingo, muskrat. Maybe set two there. That spot's so good. So if you can't, you got to try to get out and kind of scout these spots before the ice. Kind of mark them runs a little bit if you can. But I've been wanting to show you guys exactly what you need to be looking for. So if you can just imagine that the ice is off, you know, you're not going to have them bubbles, but you'll be able to tell what's going on. There we go, guys. Another great spot for it's another run. You can see it coming in there. You can see how the ice is clear. You can see the air bubbles right in there. Great spot right there for a 110 conibear. Comes up here. I'd put another one right in there, and somewhere in there they got a bank den. So another great spot. So we just keep rocking and rolling here. Another good early ice spot. You can see the clear ice. You can see the air bubbles. They're coming in here, and here's just a little feed bed. This is why you want to get here early. You want to get these feed beds that are close to shore. Pretty soon the ice is going to be a foot thick, and the muskrats are going to abandon that feed bed. And they got feed beds out in the middle of this thing all over, I guarantee you. So the later it gets, the harder it is going to be to catch these guys. So early ice, I like to come in, roll into a pond like this, bring as many traps as I can, hit it as hard as I can for a couple of days, and then get out and move on to a new spot. Because like I said, once that ice starts getting fairly thick, they're going to be gone away from shore. So here we go. I mean, if you guys got bad ice that you can't see through like this is, you can see it kind of changes here. This is still what you want to look for. Right there, muskrat run. It's going to be, if you get bad ice and you get out there early enough, you're still going to be able to find these runs, because the ice will be cloudy, and then muskrats will keep a spot that's clear, because they're going to keep that. They're going in and out of there. You can see he's running right out there. They're going to go in and out of there, and that ice is going to be, it's not going to ice up as quick as the other ice. So that's what you want to look for when the ice is cloudy. So I hope I'm not boring you guys, but I want to show you as many spots and situations as I possibly can while these conditions are so ideal for showing it. You just want to walk along these edges and look for them killer spots. So that's pretty good. We showed you the runs, we showed you the feed beds. As you can see, I'm way on the other side of the pond. I mean, this pond right here, the way it looks, I'll probably come in here with no less than a dozen 110s, and I'm going to set some 1.5 coil springs for feed sets too, to show you that. But my primary trap's going to be a conibear, a 110. That's usually what I use. I don't mess around with the 110 or the coil springs, but I know some of you guys got them from coon trapping, so I'm going to show you how to use them. As you can see, I'm way on the other side of the pond. I'm going to run over here, the other side here real quick. I already walked this pond once, so I know what we all got here. Not much going on this side. So I'm going to run over there. I'm going to show you a muskrat house. And then, like I said, tomorrow we're going to set this bad boy up, and we're going to catch us a bunch of muskrats. I'm excited. Woo! I love muskrat. Here's a muskrat house. Makes it a little bit different than a feed get. It's got a lot of the bigger material in it, bigger cattails, stuff like that. If you were to open this thing up, there'd be a chamber in the inside that the muskrats come in, and that's where they kind of eat and sleep, and that's where they live. One thing you want to look for these muskrat houses, they got 1, 2, 3, sometimes 3 places that they come into them. This one has 1, and it's right there. And as you can see, this is what you got to be careful of when you come out here and you can't see through the ice. That's a really clear ice. That's where they're coming in. And that ice is a lot thinner. If you was to happen to come along here and find this muskrat house, and then, let's just say it's froze over and there's a little bit of snow and you can't see through the ice, and you walk around this, almost guaranteed you're going for a swim right there. That ice is thin, and that ice is very, very weak. So we can come around here. You can see their bubble trail. They're coming out of there. But in Wisconsin, you can't molest a muskrat house. I know some states, they chop a hole in there and they'll set a trap right where they come out. I think that's a bunch of wasted time, a lot of work, and I don't believe in messing with them where they live, right in their house. What I'd do is I'd set a conibear right down there. I kind of open that up a little bit, feel around with my hand, see if I can find the hole. But I'm not going to do that here. I don't want to mess with them too bad. What I'll do is, I see this bubble trail goes right out here. I'll just come right over here. Ice is plenty thin. I got lots of water. I'll just put a conibear right there with a carrot on it, and boom, 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 or an apple or a potato, and what happens. That's it, guys. That's pretty much location on the muskrats. That's pretty much all a beginner should need to know. Plenty of information there to go out and start catching them. So I'm gonna head back to the truck, get home, start tuning up the traps, be ready to go tomorrow. Like I said, I'll have my girlfriend come out here. She can film me. I'll show you how to make these sets. So see you on the next video. This is what you want to find on clear ice. You want to chase them muskrats down. You see him? He's under there just a giving it. Oh, turn around. You follow these guys, and they will take you right to their den. There he goes. He's right there. This is awesome. This is what I want to get you guys and show you. There he goes. He's heading towards shore. That's what you want him. He'll take you right to his den. You'll know right where to go. You'll know right where to set a trap. Bingo. There it is. See all the bubbles? Awesome. Hey, let me tell you something, guys. This is on a big, populated lake up by me. And I come out here and I set 1 or 2 sets at these lakes because I know there's muskrats. Most of them, the lake's got a little wild section like that. They got some weeds growing on. This baby, right next to the boat launch. Check it out. So there you go. We're going to get a muskrat out of that spot. Pretty confident. Let's take a quick walk around. So don't rule out any lakes, guys. Any lake will work. Just try to get them scouted out. You know, if you can't get them scouted before the ice, go out there in a canoe or a boat and check it out. So, all right. That's it. Oh, look at that. Muskrat house on the point. Never even noticed that. Gotta head over there and check that out. We're gonna get a bonus on this muskrat video. I just came back out on a spot that I haven't checked in years, and just so happens we got some beaver in here. So we're gonna get bonus beaver footage on here. Now, hey, I'm not a huge beaver trapper. I probably caught 20 in my whole life. Don't really target them, but I'll tell you what, all they are is a giant friggin' muskrat. So here we go. This is their dam, or their den, their house. They got it built up here. It don't even look different, but if you can see, they're coming out right there. And now you start to see these big sticks. And you follow this bubble trail. And I will probably make 2 kinds of sets here. I'm going to make one. I'm going to put a 330 probably in the bottom of that run. But he comes out here, and here's his feed bed. You guys can see all these sticks stacked in here, really nice. Birch and popple, and so that's his feed bed. And then he's got another run that comes out here, just like here. And he's got another feed bed out here. So hey, in these spots, I mean, you can come in here and you can trap and set your traps and just keep going until you catch every friggin' beaver. I'm probably going to take 2 beaver out of this spot, and then I'm going to let it go in hopes that I can come here pretty much every year and catch a beaver. This is not far from my house. But here's what we're looking at. I was out here checking for muskrats, and amazing, there just ain't no muskrat sign here. But right there, that's that beaver lodge right there, and his runs are right there. So tomorrow when we set for muskrats, we're gonna come out here. I'm gonna set that. I don't know if I'm gonna put a 330 in the run there. I know for sure I'm gonna take and set a 330 feed set just like I do for muskrats. So we're gonna get some beaver, pretty confident about that. And we're gonna catch a pile of muskrats, pretty confident about that. So stay tuned. All right. We're gonna go out today. We're gonna set them muskrat sets up in that pond that I showed you. But before we go out, I want to show you some of the stuff that I use, kind of how I set it, so we don't have to be spending a whole lot of time explaining the basics when we get out there. My main trap is a 110 conibear, and I do use some 160s. And I am going to show you how to use 1.5 coil spring, because I know a lot of you guys got them from coon trapping. My main trap, like I said, is the 110. I use a lot of these conibear mounts. I know a lot of people don't use them, but they're cheap, they're fast, and that's what I use. When I do feed sets, this is all I do. I'll take and I'll wire the trap up to here, but I'll set the trap that way. I'll put a carrot or some parsnips or an apple on the trigger. I'll set that down in the water, and I'll make sure that, you know, that's about 8 inches to a foot under the ice, and that's how that set works. That's it, done. Another set that I like to use, what I do is I put them in runs, but I like to use my 160s in runs. Now I know a lot of you guys wonder, oh, do I get the tall H stands or do I get the medium size deep water? I do the same for my 330s as I do my 160s. These are just my H stands that I use for coon trapping. I wire them on the piece of lath, and they're on there solid. I do this with my 330s, and then I do this with this. I mean, you can take a 330, put it on a stand like that, and drop it down in 8 foot, down 8 foot into a run. So that's how I set my, basically my runs up. If I do use a 110 in a run, I'll just use a lath, and I'll show you that when we get out there. Another thing I like to use, and I use this a lot, like when I set culverts, or like where I showed you that muskrat that was swimming under the water, that when he went in his den, that's a real sandy, hard bottom, so it's hard to drive a stake in there. I use these bricks. This is a patio block. Comes with like 4 sections, and you take a chisel and you break it. I just drill a hole in it, put a drywall insert in there and a screw, and I put my conibear mount on there. Then all I got to do, you got to bend the mounts up just a little bit when you do this. You just take that, set it just like that. And all I got to do is I just drop that in there, and it's ready to go. I got my trap wired off. I got another hole right there. I wire my trap off too. Now when I get to a culvert, you know, you can't stick a stake or anything in a culvert. I like to drop these in there, get them up as far to the culvert as I can, raise that up so your culvert comes down just like this. This kind of blocks it. Works great for a bottom edge set. Fast, easy, really good to go. Now the one thing I don't use a lot of, but I will today because I know a lot of you guys have 1.5 coil springs. The Dukes come with a hole already drilled right in the bottom base plate. I don't know if the other traps do. All I use is strictly Dukes, so I don't really know. Basically, this is another feeder set. For this, you're going to need 2 screws or 2 nails. You're going to need a long one that you can stick a carrot or apple piece on there or something like that. And then you're going to need another one that's kind of shorter. And that screw is going to go right in this hole, just like that. And that trap's going to hang there just like that. And what the theory is here, and it works, I mean, the muskrat will come up, he'll go to eat that, he lands with his legs, because you got to put this in at a pretty good angle, so you need a pretty long board. And again, you want it about 1.5 feet below the ice. Make sure you wire your trap to your board, you're good to go. I don't use a lot of these because they're kind of a pain to set up. You got to make sure the screw or the nail that's coming through doesn't hit the pan, so it doesn't allow the pan to go down. They tend to fall off pretty easy. But we'll set some of them up and show you how to do it. So, you know, I take a cordless drill out with me, trapping wire, my pliers, and we're ready to go. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go out there, we're going to set these up for you. And so that's the basics of it. You'll learn a little bit more when we get out there on the line. We're going to put our first feed set in. This one with a 1.5 coil spring Duke. We got a potato and a carrot for bait. Right over there is our feed bed. We got a good bubble trail coming out. We got a good deep spot right here. You got to make sure you put this in at a pretty good angle, because you want to give them muskrats a spot to land. And we'll push it down in just like that. That's pretty much the set. See it right here, you can see the trap. And then we'll set this one real quick. This is a feed set with a 110 conibear. We got it on an 8-foot piece of lath. We got our connie keeper there. We got an apple and a carrot on the trigger. She's got her set. Make sure you wire your traps onto your stakes or you'll catch a muskrat and won't be able to get him back. You gotta get that down there. About a foot under the ice is all we need. So there's our first 2 feed sets. And we're gonna just keep going. We're gonna set a few more traps. We're gonna keep talking. We're gonna put some trails, some dens. So let's just keep going. All right, we got our hole chopped. We got our 160 mounted on the H stand, wired to my piece of lath here. All you're going to do is you want to set that down there and get it right in the middle of that run. Now you got to get the trap tilted a little bit. Make sure you guys take your safeties off or you'll have a big surprise in the morning because you won't have nothing. That spring under there. There we go. Get it right down into the bottom of that run. That's all you need to do. Now he'll come swimming out there, hopefully go through that 160, hit them triggers. Bing, bada bang, bada boom, we got him. Okay, let's go on to the next. Got another feed bed over there. We're gonna put in another coil spring feeder set. Just gonna use a carrot this time. The reason I don't like dinking with this set a lot, as you see, the wood's bigger. You know, you need a deeper water so you can get that trap in there. You know, it's got to go in there at an angle like that. It can't stick straight up and down. So, you know, with the conibears, I got a foot of water, I can get them in there. With this, I need a couple of feet. So you got to look for ideal conditions. And there it is. And it's set. So, I mean, it's up to you. If you only got 1.5 coil springs, go ahead and use them sets. But, you know, Duke 110s are really cheap. You know, they're less than $40 a dozen. So, and that's why I use them. They're cheap, and I can get a lot of them, and I can get a lot of sets out. So, we're just going to keep on moving. Got another feeder right here. They got a really defined run right here. See by the air bubbles. So we got it's a little deeper water. So we got our 160 set up on our H stand, and we're going to go down here. We're just going to make sure it's right in the middle of that run. There we go. The water's not very deep, so the muskrat's still got a channel there, but the mud's really deep, so we had to make our stake a little bit bigger. We're going to set one the same thing we're going to do right here, so we'll come back. Alright, well, here's that muskrat house from yesterday. Right here's that real thin ice. I went and took the axe and just pounded a hole there real quick. I'm going to shove a 110 feeder down there. They're coming in and out here pretty good, so it's a pretty solid bottom, and you can't go down in very far with the stake. So that's where them 110s really come in handy on these stakes, because you can set them really shallow and get them in that shallow water. Well, sun's almost down. It's getting close to the end of the day. So I got a few more sets to make it back to the truck, and then we'll call it a night. We'll come back out here tomorrow and see what we got. This is one of them spots in the marsh here that there is the entrance to the bank den, and that's how far from shore it is. So it's deep water. Them things are hard to find. If you find one and you can dig around there and find the opening, they're pretty productive. Otherwise, like I said, that's a great spot. I'd follow that bubble. I'd put a feeder set out there, but I ended up finding that. All right, guys, here's where I do 90% of my trapping, is on these populated lakes up by me. We're gonna do a couple trap checks here. Right over there on that point, I have there's a feeder hut, so I have a colony trap in there, and then I got a couple of bank dens I got set over there. I'm going to show you the bank dens. Hopefully we'll show you some catches and show you how to set them. So let me get to checking the traps. All right, here's what we're looking for in the bank dens. Got a nice bubble trail coming in here, and they go right there's the hole. See, it goes right in there. So what you want to do, I'm going to take your 110 conibear, get it down in there. These are really fast, easy sets to make. And that's what you want. Just cover that hole. These are really my #1 producing sets. What makes These nice is if you find them, they're using them. We got a few more in over here. We're going to go check them. But I just wanted to show you what you set them at. It's a lot easier than being in that marsh. You know, in the marsh, when you find a hole that goes in, so, you know, a lot of times it's in deep water. You can't trap it, or you'll see a feeder hut or something, and you know the entrance to the feeder hut's 20 feet out, so really hard to trap. But these lakes with these sandy shorelines and wooded shorelines, they can be high producers, because them bank dens, that's primarily what they're using. Do I worry about hurting the population enough where I'd take all the muskrats out of these lakes? No, because I know around that point some great muskrat territory. I only trap on this one side. I leave the other side, and that allows for the muskrats to repopulate this shoreline every year. You know, I can get 15-20 muskrats off a lake like this. You know, you do 10 lakes and you got 300 muskrats. Here's another bank den right here, and a muskrat. Nice. And then I got another bank den right over here. I'm going to check real quick before I reset these. You can see the muskrats here. They have just done a tremendous amount of damage. The bank's all caved in. All right, out here on another one of these populated lakes. We got a heck of a bubble trail coming in right here, and a little bit open, slightly iced over, but there's the bank den right there. We're going to set that baby. That's guaranteed muskrat, pretty much. So we'll get the trap set. Well, this is a spot a 2-year-old could find. Look at that bubble trail coming in. There's the run. You can see they've collapsed the bank and everything, so we're definitely going to put a trap right here. That's a guaranteed spot right there. They can be pretty destructive, that's for sure. We're over here by this muskrat feeder house, and we're going to set us a colony trap in there. I'm not a professional with colony traps. They just became legal late last year in Wisconsin, but I do know that this is a prime location. We got this, the rest of this lake is frozen, but you can see they're keeping this water here open because this is where the run is coming into it. And if you feel, you can feel a hole down in there. So what we're gonna do is there's some roots and stuff in the way. We're gonna clean them out, because you wanna be able to tuck that colony trap.
Another one right there.
Right up into that hole.
You just spooked another one right out of the hole.
All right. So we'll get this trap in here. They're definitely using it. All right, we got it right up in that hole now. And you can see the trap's probably halfway into there. These colony traps work good here because you're going to catch 1, 2, maybe 3 muskrats in one set, rather than putting a conibear or something there and only catching one. I know a lot of guys, they'll chop inside, and this is hollow in there, and they'll set a trap inside there. That's a lot of work, and in here in Wisconsin, that's illegal. You can't molest a muskrat house. So for years, we've been stuck using just a 110 or a 160 at that entrance, and now we can use colony traps. So we're going to give that a try right here and see what we can catch. All right, we got one of our 110 feeder sets that I baited with a carrot. You can see they got a nice bubble trail. They got probably a bank den or something right up in here, and they're coming right out here, and the water is pretty deep here, so I couldn't really set the run because the water's so deep. You don't really have a confines to get them in there. So what we did is we set one of our 110 feeders. We're going to chop it out here, see what we got. Oh, there we go, muskrat. Nice. And he looked like he was getting a little bit greedy. He's got a bunch of weeds in his mouth, and he thought he'd come over and have him a carrot lunch. So, there we are. And feeder sets. Well, we got one of our 160s that we had set in the trail here. Probably the 6th trap I checked today. And we got a muskrat. Pretty much suitcased him. So there they are. It works. We're on them. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to get this trap reset and set her down in there, and we're going to keep moving. We got some traps we got to get checked, and I want to expand this line today and show some, get some more video. I want to get out to one of the lakes that we got. So we're going to keep moving here. Let me tell you what's nice about trapping these populated lakes. Got all these houses. Right there's a boat launch. Right there's my truck. Right there's my first set. It's in a bank den. And muskrat feet. Ha! Oh, that's a big. That's Godzilla rat. Look at how big that thing is. That thing is huge. Nice. And right there's the truck. Man, I love muskrat trapping on these big lakes. Well, here's that feeder hut we set that other colony trap in. Give her a check here. Oh, I see a muskrat. Yep, got one. Oh, we got two. Another double on the muskrats. Nice. Boy, them colony traps are nice, you know. Years ago, I'd had to settle for one muskrat there. Now I can catch them two at a time. So we'll go get our other traps checked here. We'll stick this back in here. So, see what tomorrow brings. Got another little feeder hut here. Got a colony trap right down here. Chop it out, see what we got today. Oh, I see some feet. I see a tail. We got us a mink and a muskrat. You never know what you're going to catch. And again, this is all on that populated lake. So they are like honey holes there. So we're going to get that trap reset. That's a good double. Got a couple more traps to check. And we'll see what we can do. Nice catch. Well, got us a feeder hut right there. And right there's the entrance and the trap. Put a 110 in there. And I see muskrat feet. So that's good. Oh, another big rat. Nice. Well, we'll get that baby out of there and get her set and keep on rolling. We're getting a tub full. Another bank den right here we're going to check. Oh yeah, I can see one. There he is. Little muskrat under the ice. Hope he ain't froze in. Yeah, he's froze in. We're gonna have to... It kind of gets to be a problem when you're doing this real shallow water stuff. Sometimes your muskrats freeze in the ice. So you don't, just gotta chip them out. There he is. Oh, beautiful head catch. Another dandy rat. Well, we're gonna get him out of the trap, get it reset. Well, that's what you want to see when you're checking your traps. Little muskrat head looking up at you. We're gonna have to chop him out, see what he is. Oh, fell off the wire. Oh, he's in there pretty good. Another nice one. Well, we'll get that trap reset and get back after him. Our stake is all messed up here, so that's probably a pretty good sign that we got a muskrat in the bank den. So, he's chopped out here. Oh yeah. Another rat. Suitcased him in the bank den. I'm telling you, them bank dens are where it's at. Well, it's turning out to be a pretty good day, so we're going to keep checking and keep moving. Well, we're coming up to that colony set we got on that feeder hut. This has really been a, oh yeah, you can already see we got one. This has really been a high producer. Oh, it looks like a dandy muskrat too. There he is. Just another dandy muskrat. This is my last check that I'm going to do on this lake here. This one right here is number 14 that I've taken off this lake. Now, like I said before, I'm not worried about over catching and just decimating the population here, because I don't trap the other side of this lake. And I know there's some killer muskrat spots over there, so every year I can come back and trap this and take about the same amount of rats off. So we're going to check the other traps and see what we got. Alright, thanks for tagging along out on the muskrat line. Hope you learned a little bit. If not, hope you had some fun. We got to get our muskrats skinned. Got them all hung up to dry last night. Looking good the way I dry them. Just point that out to you guys. Hang them by the front foot so the water drains off of them. If you hang them like this, the water drains down in the fur. It'll take a little bit longer. All I do to hang them up is I take a little piece of trapping wire here. Take that, bend it around the front foot nice and tight, put a little hook on it, hang it up. So we're going to get after the skinning and the fleshing and the stretching. We'll do a little video on that, and maybe we'll do a little cooking video, because these little buggers are scrumptious. Go out and catch a few. You guys been asking on do a quick video on how to skin a muskrat, so I'm going to do that for you. Show you how I skin them, flesh them, and then put them on the stretcher. I'm going to show you something pretty cool about the way I stretch them. But a couple things when you start out here. Get these muskrats, you're probably going to be wet. What you want to do is I hang mine by the front feet and I put a fan on them, because if you hang them by the back feet, all the water drips down inside the fur, because the fur is used to laying back like this. So if you hang them by the front feet, all the fur drips out. Another way, if I get too many, you can lay them down on the ground in front of a fan, but don't lay them on their belly. If you lay them on their belly, real quick they'll get green belly and they'll start to get rotten. So lay them on their backs. Another thing, you can roll them up in newspaper. That works. Take an air compressor, blow them out real quick. That works too. So it's a couple ways, but make sure your rat's dry. So we'll get started. First thing you want to do, take and cut from the heel on the back foot, right there by that, you can see about where the fur line is, where the long fur hits the short fur. Start right there, go across, you want to go right to the tail, and you can leave a little bit of that tail on there. You don't have to. If you're using a wire stretcher, go ahead and leave a little bit of that tail. That'll help you when you're stretching. And again, go across and meet your other cut. There you go. And you're going to peel this back. Now this belly, sometimes this belly likes to stick to the hide, and then you'll end up getting the guts will kind of come out. Just get that started a little bit, make sure it cuts all the way down. Yep, we're good to go. Now on the back here, what you want to do is take where your cut was there. You want to run your knife underneath there, go around to the other side, and then just come out like that. So you're done, just like that. Now you don't use a knife a lot on a muskrat. You use mostly your fingers. Then you just start peeling. Back when I was a kid, I used to do these things so fast. But just keep working your fingers around the leg, the back leg here. Just like this. Work it up in, pull it, and it pulls right off. Same thing on the other side. Start on the back, work your finger around. Let's come out by the belly here. Get your thumb in there. Work them around until your fingers meet, just like that. Give it a pull, and it comes right off. You don't need to cut nothing. Just like that. Now I like to peel the back before I peel the belly, because the belly is very thin. So just keep peeling around just like that. Peel him right up to his shoulders, and then come around, and then you can work this belly by going on the side of it here, and that'll help you. Now you're gonna probably tear more than you don't, but right here is the only place you're gonna have to use the knife on the belly, is right there where his anal cavity is. There you go. And then you just pull. Like I said, if you start tearing the belly open, don't freak out. It happens to the best of us. Just like that. See, it's starting to tear it open. Just so you guys know, man, muskrat is awesome to eat, and it's awesome bait. There's probably nothing better in a pocket set by the river than muskrat, because everything eats a muskrat, man. Mink eat it, they love it. Coons eat it. Even other muskrats, they don't eat it, but they're really attracted to the smell. Get by the front legs, do the same as you always do. Work your finger around, pop it through, pull it up, just like that, and it'll pull right off. You don't need to cut nothing. Just like that. Same on the other side. And you notice I haven't used a knife at all since I made that initial cut, and then I cut around the anal cavity. Just give it a pull, it'll tear right off. Done. Now onto the head. Just like that. Pull it down until you get by the ears. One cut there, one cut there. Pull it again until you get to the eye. One cut there, one cut there. Pull it some more. Now you gotta work around the cheek there. Cheek on the other side. And pull it right off. Get him around a little bit more by his cheek. He got smashed pretty good in the 110, so there's his cheek right there. Right down to his nose. Like I said, the more you do, the faster you'll get. Ain't no big deal. Okay, that's it, done. Now if you're gonna eat this or use it for bait, the guts, the heart, the liver, and all of that, that's great for coyote bait. You can cut the hind quarters, you know, use one in each pocket set, front quarters, and then the rest. But we'll save that for bait. Set that off to the side. Now, fleshing a muskrat. I don't use my big fleshing beam. I got a little one. I got this one for mink, and then I do the muskrat on this one. All you're going to want to do on a muskrat is get this extra fat off. And most of the time, I just use a spoon to get it started. Just like that. Come down here. This meat, this little, you see a lot of this red meat on here, you don't have to get that off. It's called the saddle. It'll dry right up. What you want to do is these white globules of fat. That's all you want to get off. And then I use a knife up here to get this little cheek meat. Be careful. Once you get it started, it just pulls right off. Most of the fat is right in the armpit is where you'll get it. Scrape that off with a knife. Be very careful, they're pretty tender. And then down along the edge of the fur here, you'll see a lot of fat. You just want to get that off. Any of the big chunks of fat, pull that cheek meat off. There's a little bit of fat right there. Give him a once over. A little bit of fat right there. A little bit of fat down here. And he's pretty much done. This meat, like I said, this red meat you see right here, it's called the saddle. You just leave that on there, it'll dry right up. A little bit more right there. Alright, now for the fun part. Stretching them. This is where my secret comes in. Been doing this for quite a while. See these signs? Hire local, whatever, elect so-and-so, all of that. They're like plastic cardboard. After the elections and stuff, go get as many as you can get at the dump. Because these things work awesome as stretchers. All you do is get you a pattern. You could be a wire stretcher, it could be a wooden stretcher. Just lay that baby on there, just like that. Now make sure you go long ways, because you'll see when I get it done here why you got to do that. Just like that. You can draw out, you get 3 of them usually out of it. Just like that. There you go. And I'm telling you, when you guys see this, when this is done, you're going to be like, wow, that's awesome. Take your knife. Cut one out. Set that off to the side. I'll cut them out in a minute. And take your muskrat hide, get it started on there, and you just kind of pop it, and it'll pop in one spot or in the middle or the side, it doesn't matter. Just get your muskrat on there and get him straight. He's got to get turned around a little bit. And just like that. Pull him down. Pop him, make sure he's straight. And it takes 3 safety pins to do this. I put one up here in the nose, just to hold that. I take a clothespin, put it on the side. Another clothespin on this side. Like that. You'll find your muskrats will even stretch out a little bit bigger doing it this way. And we take our other stick pin, bring his tail down, poke it all the way through. Same right there. Poke your hole in there. Hang him up. Muskrat. Done. As soon as he's dry, you pop that baby out. You can save these year after year after year. You can stack them up and put them in a cardboard box, but these things make awesome, awesome, awesome muskrat stretchers. So there you go. Hope you learned a little bit. Go out there and catch you some.